What's up, everyone? So here at Cinesamples, we pride ourselves on really listening to our users, especially when it comes to developing our plugin Musio. We like to think of it kind of like we're building this thing hand in hand with you guys. Taking your feedback and using it to shape Musio into the best and most useful plugin that it can be, so that every time you open it, you feel inspired.
Nice. From
the instruments themselves to features like key switches and the download all button, and even our business model. We've worked really hard to build this thing on consensus. Sure, we might move a little slow at times. We're still a pretty small team, and we're often juggling the complexity of super powerful features with the elegance of a simple and uncomplicated user interface. So sometimes it can take a little imagination to figure out how to best present these professional-grade tools in a way that a user of any experience level can approach, but without compromising the end result. Quality is king when it comes to Musio, but simplicity and approachability is queen. And we all know who runs the show in that marriage. This analogy's getting away from me. Anyway, why am I saying all of this? Because today, we're excited to announce the launch of one of the most requested features of the last year. And I'm sitting here in a dark room shooting this video because we think that you might be excited about it too. Let's get this party started. Mic positions. No, mic positions. No, Greg, microphone position mixes. Mic position mixes are now available in Musio. What does that mean? I'll explain. But first, let's take a little trip together in the Wayback Machine. The Wayback Machine? What are you, Miss Frizzle? Gonna take us on a ride on the Magic School Bus? Come on, dude.
Seatbelts, everyone!
So for those of you who know a little about our flagship Cinesymphony series, you might know that it was recorded on the Barbra Streisand stage in the John Williams building on the Sony Studios lot. That's a mouthful, but it used to be known simply as the MGM scoring stage. And throughout history, it's been the birthplace of some of the most iconic Hollywood scores like The Wizard of Oz, E.T., Forrest Gump, Jurassic Park, Interstellar, the list goes on. The Cinesymphony libraries were engineered by the renowned Dennis Sands, who has a very specific miking technique that he likes to use when he's recording an orchestra. Now, Dennis has been recording on this specific soundstage for decades, and the list of films he's worked on is frankly exhausting, but needless to say, he has his mic placements down to a science. Now, there are usually upwards of 50 microphones used in an orchestra session, and the crown jewel of all of them are 3 original Neumann M50 Tube microphones. M50 Tube microphones. M50 Tube microphones, used in a Deca-tree array to capture that beautiful orchestral stereo image. These microphones are super rare. I think they go for more than $20,000 a piece, and they're the same microphones that were used on a lot of the scores that I mentioned before. But anyway, I digress. All of these microphones are strategically placed amidst and amongst the orchestra to capture different textures and tones and give the engineer the ability to kind of blend and find the right sound for each scene in the film. You want a big, sweeping, airy, emotional feeling? Turn up the room mics to create a sense of space and depth. You want something a little more claustrophobic? Bring those room mics down, emphasize the close mics to capture the grittiness of rosin pulling and pushing on strings. The point is, an important part of driving emotion in music, whether it's for a score or for a record, is the shape of the sound itself. So why is this important? Well, everything that went into the Cinesymphony series, from the room, to the players, to the engineers, the microphones, and even, the funding, was designed to be as close to a one-to-one recreation of authentic Hollywood scoring as you can get. And that's just for the Cinesymphony series. But a bunch of our other libraries were recorded in equally as prestigious spaces, with equally as accomplished engineers and equally as rare equipment. And now, with mic position mixes, Musio's your ticket to sitting behind the board at some of the most legendary scoring stages in the world, pulling faders on some of the rarest microphones that exist, placed by some of the most accomplished mix engineers in the business, and dialing in the shape of your very own sound. And that sounds pretty cool to me. No, not these ones.